Now let us see what is the heating effect of a current. When a voltage source like a battery generates circuit current from a circuit, we all know that the battery generates current. Most of the energy is used up in maintaining the current inside the circuit. The energy will be used in maintaining the current in the whole circuit. However, the portion of energy is dissipated in the form of heat. When you're using something, for example, when you're using your phone, when you use it while you play games for a long time, then the phone will somewhat become hot. That is nothing but a dissipation of the current in the form of heat. This is nothing but the heating effect of current. Whenever you touch the 60 voltage bulb with your hand while it was burned for a long time, then you will experience that there is heat generated through that bulb. So this is nothing but a heating effect of a current. Just look at this. When you bring your hand closer to a bulb, heater or iron, yes, you can check it with your iron box. It will be also heated. That is nothing but a heating effect of a current. So power is calculated as work done divided by time taken. How much power we have used from the current is nothing but how much work that device had done in how much time. That is the power. We know that potential difference is equal to work done divided by charge. Just remember the first slide, initial slides we taught. That is, voltage is equal to work done divided by charge taken. I said you that potential difference is nothing but it is a work done to carry a charge from one place to another. That is nothing but this is V is equal to W divided by Q. So this equation P is equal to W divided by T, that is power is equal to work done in some time taken, and we have V is equal to W by Q, that is potential difference is equal to work done to move a charge Q. Now we want W. What we'll do, we will take the Q to the left hand side and we'll multiply it with V. By substituting this W is equal to VQ in equation P is equal to W by T, we will get, just substitute the value of W, that is V into Q divided by T. And you remember what I thought, that current is a charge moved in a specific time, that is charge carried in a conductor through a cross-sectional area in a specific time was nothing but electric current. I told you this is nothing but I is equal to Q by T. I showed you in the slides that current is nothing but charge taken in a unit time, that is Q divided by T. Q is charge, T is unit time. So we can write this P as V, and we can replace the Q by T with this current I. Then we will get P is equal to VI, that is power can be calculated using voltage and current. We know, if we know voltage and the current, by multiplying both of those we can get what power is been consumed. Now energy supplied by a power source to a circuit in a time t will be, now we know that power is consumed, that is P. We must know how much hour the power was on, that for it we must multiply it by time, that is equal to H will be equal to V into T. We know that P is V into I, what I derived just earlier. P is equal to V by I. By substituting P with V into I, that will be equal to H is equal to V into I into this T will be multiplied with this. From Ohm's law, okay. From Ohm's law we know that I is equal to V by R, or V is equal to I into R. Here in the place of V, let us put I into R, and this IT just as it is. What we did is we just substituted this V with this IR, and I and T we just kept as it is. By solving, there are two i's which are multiplied. By multiplying I into I, we will get I square and R and T. So this H, which is energy supplied by power source, that is H, will be given as I square RT. This is known as Joule's law of heating. It states that heat produced in a circuit, this heat which is produced in a circuit is directly proportional to square of the current. Here current is squared and it is a resistance and it is time t. So it states as heat produced in a circuit is directly proportional to square of current flowing and resistance of current and time for which the current flows. By multiplying all these values, we will get the Joule's law of heating, that is H. Now, disadvantages of heating effect. We saw that iron box, it is advantage, but we have some disadvantage. Let us loss of energy in unwanted heat. In unwanted heat, many energy has been lost. So the heat will be lost in the form of energy, the current will be lost in the form of heat. That is a loss of energy. It is a disadvantage of heating effect. And wear and tear of components. Sometimes while we start passing the current through some resistors and all, if they are not so strong, they will start getting damaged. So that will be wear and tear of components. Then they asked the resistance, that was 134.15 ohm. Sorry, this is current. I is equal to 360 divided by 220. I is nothing but current. So current is equal to 134.15. By dividing 360 divided by 220, take on your calculators, we will get that 1.0 6 3 6 amperes of current will be flowing when the electric iron was heating at the minimum, and then the resistance will be equal to V divided by I, that is 220 volts divided by, what was the current? 1.636. That is 134.47. That is 134.47. The value changes when we round off the decimal parts. If we round this 636 as a 64, this will change to 134.15. When we take it as the same 1.636, this will give the value of 134.47. So it will be varied when we change this decimal point of this current. So this is the current flowing 1.636 when it is in the, when the iron is hitting in a minimum, and when maximum the current was 3.82, and the resistance when it was maximum is 57.59. just look over here, I just rounded off to 57.60, and resistance will be 134.47. that's 134, we can write it as 50 when it was hitting at a minimum. Let us solve another example. 100 joules of heat is produced each second in a 4 ohm resistance. They are telling that 100 joules of heat, 100 joule is energy that is in the form of heat. Each second, time is equal to 1 second. In a 4 ohm resistance, R is equal to given as 4 ohm resistance. Find the potential difference across the resistor. They are telling. We know that H is equal to 100 and R is given as 4 ohm, time is 1 second, voltage is, we have to find it. From the equation we have H is equal to I square RT. H is equal to I square RT. We know the H, we know the R, we must, and we know the T, we must find out I here. So I square will be equal to H. This R and T we will take to the left hand side and write it as divided by RT. So this is I square. When we want I, this square from this left hand side will turn as square root on the right hand side. Then I will be equal to H divided by RT. That is what written over there. I is equal to root H by RT. By just substituting the value H as 100 joules, R as 4 ohm and T as 1 second, we will get I as 5 amperes of current. They have told find the potential difference across the resistor. We know the resistance value, we have to find the potential difference, that is voltage. We know the current, we know the resistance, we can find voltage easily. That is, we know that V is equal to IR through the Ohm's law. I we find out as 5 amperes and resistance there have been given as 4 ohm, then voltage will be equal to obviously 20 voltage of potential difference. Let us see some practical applications of this heating effect of a current. Look at this, we have a toaster and an iron box. These two are used in the application of heating effect of current. This is bulb. Here what happens is the current flows through this wire. This is a tungsten wire or a filament. It will be having high boiling point up to thousands of degrees Celsius. When it start getting heated, it will heat as a red hot filament, and the light emits as a heat, and the bulb glows. Heating effect produces light in a bulb. Tungsten wire inside the bulb becomes hot and emits light when the current passes through it. When the current passes through it, the tungsten will be here. That filament will emit light when the current passes through it. Since it has high melting point of 3422 up to 3K degrees Celsius, it will be having high melting point. So it does not break. We do not apply that much of heat now, so it doesn't break. Due to presence of gases like chemical, inactive, nitrogen and argon inside the bulb, the filament remains thermally isolated and its life increases. It will be having nitrogen and argon inside the bulb, so it will stable, and they will remain as thermally isolated, and they can use for a long time. Now let us see what is electric power. It is just a rate at which electrical energy is dissipated or consumed in a circuit. So we already discussed what was power. That is nothing but electric power. P is equal to V into I. We have derived this equation. In the place of V, we will put I into. In the place of I, when we put V divided by R, then it will become V square by R. In the place of V, when we put IR, it will become I square R. Let me show you. Here it is P is equal to V into I. By Ohm's law we know that V is equal to IR. We just put IR in V and I. This I here. This will become I into I will become I square, and R remains as it is. In another, if we placed I as V divided by R, we know that I is equal to V by R, then it will become V square by R. If we have voltage and resistance, we must use this equation to find out the power. If we have current and resistance, we should use this equation to find out the power. The SI unit of power is nothing but watt. 1 watt power is consumed when 1 ampere of current flows through a device at a potential difference of 1 volt. It is of 1 watt power. You know that power is equal to V into I. Then if 1 volt of potential difference and I is equal to 1 ampere, then the power will be 1 watt. Electric energy is amount of work done on energy consumed in the given amount of time. So it is measured in joules. Electric energy or power is measured in joules or in the form of watt hour. If we are measuring it in hours, we should use that watt hours, or most commonly as kilowatt hours. The electricity or the electrical bill will be measured as kilowatt hour. This 1 kilowatt hour will be equal to 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joules. This 1 kilowatt hour will be 1 unit. This will be called as 1 unit. You might have been heard, you have used this much of unit in your house. So that is nothing but 1 kilowatt hour is a 1 unit. So let us solve this example. Electric bulb is connected to 220 volt generator and the current is 0.50 amps. What is the power of bulb? We know that P is equal to V into I. So we know that voltage is 220 volt and the current is 0.50. That is equal to 1 joules per second. The power is 110 joules per second. Joules per second is nothing but. Another example, an electric refrigerator rated 400 watt operates 8 hours a day. 400 watt, that is a power, it is operating 8 hours a day. What is the cost of energy to operate it for 30 days at rupees 3 per kilowatt hour? That is 1 unit is charged as 3 rupees. 1 unit is charged as 3 rupees and 400 watt. This is the energy consumed for 8 hours a day. Then what will be for a 30 hours of day? So 400 watt is consumed in 1 hour. So for 8 hours you must multiply it by 8 and it is per day, 8 hours per day. For 1 day it will be 400 into 8. For 30 days we must multiply it by 30. Then it will be equal to 96,000 watt hours. So this 1000 we can write it as kilo. 1 kilo is equal to 1000. So it will be equal to 96 kilowatt hour. Thus the cost of energy to operate the refrigerator for 30 days. If we operated a refrigerator using 400 watt operating 8 hours per day, so the energy will be costed as, we know that 96 kilowatt hour we are using for 1 month. For 1 kilowatt hour it is 3 rupees. And what will be for 96 kilowatt hour? And it will be equal to rupees 288. 288 rupees it will be charged for 1 month to use 400 watt of electric refrigerator. So this was electricity of chapter 12. If you have any doubt, just ask in the comment section. Thank you.